Well, welcome to another episode of Love Yourself Loudly. Today I have a wonderful guest. His name is Ricky G, and he is a creative powerhouse. So let's round of applause for my friend Ricky G. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I just want to thank you for taking your time to come all the way out here to sit on this platform to have me interview and ask you several questions about your life, your career, your journey, and a little bit more. So we'll just see.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. I really appreciate you having me on. I was excited to be here, actually.
So you're not nervous today, are you?
Not at all.
All right. So let's start off with the first questions because I've been looking at your Instagrams and I've been doing a lot of research about you.
Okay.
So my first question to you, what was the turning point in your life when you knew art would be your voice?
I would say about 11 years old. And there was a movie that came out. It was Breaking and Beat Street. And they were showing this guy, Beat Street, Ramon.
Yeah,
he used
to
to
paint with his spray.
And I used to get in trouble a lot in school because I used to doodle a lot. You know, when I was going through any problems in my life, I would doodle and I would draw. And the teacher wouldn't understand because they don't really get involved. At least back then, they didn't get involved as much with the students. And they didn't know I was having problems at home or whatever. And this is why I'm kind of acting out and putting everything on paper. So anytime I would go, it was like my defense mechanism, you know, to help me. So B Street came out and I went home and I bought black oil paint and I painted all my walls. And after I painted my walls, my parents were factory workers, so they were at work at the time. And I painted all my walls in my room black, and then I went to town spray painting. So you can imagine the smell inside the house from the aerosol cans. And
wow.
No, my dad wanted to kill me. But ever since I saw that, I knew I was going to do something with art. I just didn't know what.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So since you said that, what does self-love looks like for you as a man in such a bold, expressive career?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say self-love is really about the journey that you have of your own self. What do you want to see yourself being? And where do you want to be at, you know, in your life? Mm-hmm. So I was always a dreamer. I always thought I was going to have the mansion, the big cars. I always wanted that because I grew up, you know,
not well,
pretty poor. Pretty poor. But that was my dream. So in order to do that, you got to be real with yourself in order to have real things around you and keep them. In the environment I grew up in, there was a lot of negativity. So I took my self-love and I surrounded myself with people that were like-minded like myself, and I didn't allow that negativity to hurt me in any way. And I guess that's what I grew up. Whenever I have problems, I look myself in the mirror and I see God. You know, I've been created by God, and when I look in the mirror, that's who I see. So I'm worthy. It doesn't matter what other people think of me. It matters so much what I think of myself, and that's what makes the difference.
So at what age did you realize, all right, I'm just gonna think about myself? Like, did you have a mentor to help you to think that way, or you just learn on yourself, like for yourself, you just sit home and be like, you know what?
Unfortunately, I didn't have a mentor when I was little. I have a mentor now, and I had one maybe when I was 21 is when I really got my first mentor. But growing up, 11 was 10 going on 11. I saw my first murder in front of me, and it was one of my friends. Over a girl. They fought in the park. I used to live in these buildings that were like 12 buildings together, so it was like its own little city within a dead-end street and a lake behind you. So there was only one way in, one way out of these buildings. And in those buildings, at a young age, you would see prostitution, drugs, whatever went on. So these two guys came home from school. They were fighting over a girl. They fought in a little park that was behind our buildings, and one got beat up. The one that got beat up ran home, grabbed himself a gun, and the other one was already at his house. He ran up to the 4th floor, threw a little rock at his window. The other kid lived on the 5th floor. He threw the rock from the 4th floor. When the kid opened up the window, he took a shot at the kid. He missed. He ran down the stairs, and when he turned the corner, the same kid that he had shot at shot him through the balcony. And we were playing right there next to the pool, me and another friend of mine. And we watched this kid get struck. He ran. We didn't know what to do. We were just following him and kind of hiding behind him. He would knock at a door of somebody. He was bleeding, so people weren't opening the door. He hit four doors maybe till he got to the parking lot, and then he collapsed. And when he collapsed, we looked at him. He pissed on himself, and his eyes closed. And that's when we knew. And that was pretty traumatizing for me growing up. So that made me look at my surroundings a little bit different. And I'm grateful for it. Believe it or not, I'm cursed and blessed at the same time, because I seen stuff in my younger years that taught me the biggest lessons in my older years.
Because I know you do a lot of things for the community, and I see why you start off the community because of a situation like this.
Yeah.
What can you tell the younger generation this year, like to look for in a friend, and be careful in certain things, especially in a relationship? Because right now I notice a lot of people, instead of them having verbal expression back and forth, the first thing they quick to grab is a weapon. And I'm like, all of this for another, for another human being is like, just let it be.
Yeah, there's no value for human life.
And to me, I feel like if the relationship is not good, just walk away, just let it be. If it's not meant to be, you'll find the right person for you in the, future life or whatever the circumstances might be. So what can you tell the younger generation to become a better man? Because I'm not going to talk for a female standpoint, but to become a better man, and how to love themselves for who they are, and not to be worrying about their surroundings.
That's an awesome question, and I'll be honest with you. Today's generation is very different from the generation I grew up with, and the difference is social media. So the kids nowadays have a lot more pressure than we ever had, because back in our day, we would go to school, we would get in a fight, we would duke it out, and then we go home and we forget all about it.
True.
But these kids nowadays, they go to school, they get in a fight, they come home, and they gotta see either a video of them getting beat up, or a video of them assaulting somebody, or trash, what they call trolling nowadays on the social media platforms, and that applies a different pressure. So that's when the egos of a young man start playing effect, and we gotta learn to not let words and other people affect us as much as we're letting them, only because our egos tell us that we are strong young men and we can take this guy, and they're making fun of me because they think I can't take them, and it's easy to pull that trigger, but you can't come back from it. So these young men, my advice would be, understand who you are as a person. Love yourself enough as a person, and don't settle for anything less than you deserve, but at the same time, see the red flags for what they are. When you're in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, whatever, you have to really see that person for who they is. If you don't do that, what ends up happening is you put a prediction or an assumption of these people and you think they're greater than what they really are, and they're always going to lay you down, because the only one that can lay you down is you and your instinct, and we all have them. They talk about women's intuition, men have men intuition as well. It's just we're too prideful in the way we grow up, that we don't show our feelings enough or really care about ourselves enough. Because when we take somebody's life, it's not that we don't care about the other person. We really don't care about us, because we're not thinking of the consequences that are going to happen to us afterwards. Not only going to jail, that's the least of your problems. The biggest problems is what you just did and what you have to live with, of how you did it and how it'll affect you down the line. It's just like these Army vets and stuff, when they come back from the field, they have PTSD.
Yes.
Well, when you're growing up in a hostile environment, you have PTSD as well. They just don't label it because you're a product of your environment. So yeah, just leave them. They'll be okay. And it's not. These kids need a lot of talking to, and we need to put the guns down, to be honest with you.
So that's a amazing answer that you just gave me. But how can you tell if a young boy is going through things to the point that sometimes they want to commit suicide? Like, how can you tell those red flags? Like, what can you look for? Because since you're the older guy, I just wanted to know.
Their mannerisms, their changing of behaviors, what they start. People have to really be more involved with their kids. I know there's parents out there, with the economy the way it is, there's parents out there that are working 2-3 jobs, especially if you're a teacher nowadays. Your salaries are very minimal. So some of these teachers, they don't own their own house or anything like that. So being renting out here and stuff like that, they got to have 2-3 jobs. And if you're a single mother or a single father and you're raising your kids, it's hard to be on top of them and actually do what you need to do as far as a responsible parent. So it's really tough to see the signs, but you got to find a way to be more involved in their life so you can start seeing the signs, because believe me, there's signs.
Wow, that's deep. Was there ever a moment where you had to choose between staying true to yourself and pleasing others?
Yes. In 2015, I was in the height of my career in acting, and I had landed 4 major films. I was one of the main cast members of these 4 films, signed contracts. Everything was up and up, and I was going to places that I never thought that I would ever be in, rooms that I was put in. I never thought I would even have an opening to a room like that. But it was a person that was helping me, that was really big in the business, that was really pushing me. And they were trying to turn me into somebody I wasn't. The minute that I went against that, they canceled me. So right after that, they deleted me from their social media platforms. They blocked me on their phone. And they sent me a letter saying, I can't believe, I can't stand behind somebody with morals like you and so forth and blah, 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 blah. And they were really rude and really nasty with what they said. But again, I lost the money, the bag. I lost the bag because I stood for what I believed in. I wasn't gonna represent somebody I wasn't. I didn't feel right, even though Hollywood wanted me to. I didn't wanna do it, and that cost me a lot in my career. So it's been since 2015. I went and took a different role and I stopped doing the acting and stuff like that. I started doing stuff for myself on social media, little skits and stuff like that. And then I started pursuing my art, and I took off a different way. But I took it off something genuine to myself, where I can help other people grow, not break them down.
Wow. So your art scenes vibrate and full of emotions, because you did said that. Is there a message you hope people take away when they see your work?
Absolutely. I want them to relate to my work and take a piece of me with them and my energy. So when they meet me, you can only spread yourself around so much. You know, so when people meet me and they get to know the genuineness and stuff with me, they can relate to a lot of my stories, because we're just people, we're just humans. You know, I don't care what background you come from or whatever. Poor is poor, rich is rich, middle class is middle class. And at the end, you might have different ways of manipulating, you know, your existence, but it's all at the end relatable, because you know the struggle, you feel those feelings, and you went through those emotions. My art tells that. So when I paint a painting, it's with a story. I'm basically painting you my story in my light, and what made me come out of it, what made me overcome those obstacles in my life, and inspire others to overcome their obstacles. So when they look at that picture coming down their stairs, or they're sitting in their living room looking at that picture of mine, those colors vibrate into their life and show them they're just like me. You know, they can overcome it.
I like that.
Thank you.
I really do. With everything you accomplished, how do you want people to remember you?
I really just want to be remembered as somebody that cared for others and really made a difference in somebody's life, whether it's one person or 10 people. There's a good friend of mine, Keith Wallace. He always says, you got to reach one to teach one. And I really strongly believe in that. He's a big mentor, you know, in my upbringing as well, because he had a really rough path. Really good guy, really solid. He made some mistakes as a juvenile, but he's corrected them, and he's going against everything that they want him to be in order to be this man for the youth. And I admire that, because that's what I want to be as well. So we got some things in the works that we're gonna be putting together eventually.
So do you want to be the mentor for the youth, or just for men's in general?
Our generation, or the new generation in the future. I want to be more of a mentor for these kids, to help them, to let them know that they have an outlet. They have decisions that they can make that can be positive in their life, that they don't have to take the wrong way always. It's easy to listen to these people that are being bought out with money, that are sending the wrong messages to these children. It's very easy to fall into that when you don't have it, and you want that. So, but there's no easy way out of life. So if you're gonna do that, you gotta really, really stick to yourself and what you feel inside. You know, and I don't have a bad bone in my body, you know.
I know you don't. I know you don't. What's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Exactly that. I've always had all type of people around me, good, bad, because I don't believe I'm there to judge anyone. Everybody can be any way towards you or somebody else. You don't know what that person did to that other person to make them feel that way. So I don't judge somebody of their past or what other people tell me or anything. I judge them what I feel at the moment and move forward from that. So I like to be remembered as somebody that really didn't judge the person, really accepted and embraced the person no matter what they've done in their life, but actually inspired them to be a better person themselves, you know, by whatever they took from me, whether it was something I said or something I did. that they can take something good of that and make something better for themselves out of it.
Darn. Ooh. So what advice would you give to someone afraid to show up authentically in their art or business?
Well, you can't be afraid. Fear is something that's psychological. It's a mindset. So when I was sitting in the hospital in 23, I was fighting for my life. I had passed away. One of the biggest things that I had was fear, right? I'm the breadwinner in my house. I take care of a bunch of people. I do a lot of stuff for a lot of people. So all that was going away. I was sitting there. So I had a battle with Christ. I had a battle with God in the thing. And all it really was I was having a panic attack, at that moment. When I was having my battle with him, I was having a thing because of my fear. So what I feel is fear is only if you let it consume you and let your mind, if you put positive things in your mind, you can do positive things. So I don't know. I believe the biggest challenge in that sense is just be yourself. And the people that embrace you, because we think small-minded. So we get stuck in a small city. I'm from Hialeah, or I'm from Northwest, or I'm from Miami Gardens, whatever. So you only worry about the people that are in Miami Gardens of how you get judged or whatever. I don't want to look bad, I want to look tough, in this, because that's what they're doing. They're looking tough. I want to look tough.
You want to blend in with everybody else.
Right. So that's what you don't have to do that. By being yourself, we're in a whole world. You got to start thinking big. So you might not have a lot of people that'll support you in your own city, which is a big fact.
Because I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too. When I opened up my tattoo shop, I opened it up originally in the city that I grew up with. My friends didn't support me.
I've been there.
They wanted everything for free.
Yep, been there too.
Hook up. Hey,
Yep.
Rick's over there at the tattoo. Let's get hooked up.
And then it'd be bashing at you at the same time and making you feel like your stuff ain't great.
Yep.
But then it wants something for free. I was like, this doesn't
and
make
then
no
there's
sense.
others that think that they're just like you, that they can do it just like you,
and they kind of.
but they don't have the mindset or the work ethic to do it.
Yep.
And I believe they could do it.
But I support
you gotta have the mindset
Correct.
and the drive to do it. And they don't do that. They didn't wake up as early as I did. They didn't go to bed as late as I did. They didn't do the things that, I did to get myself in that position. And they felt entitled just because they grew up in the same area in the same way I did. So I believe, you get more love from other places, which I have, other cities that I have.
I just started learning that.
Yeah, it's a big lesson.
Yeah, it took me.
I learned it in 2018.
Oh, see, I learned it this year. I learned it at the end of last year. I kind of understand that I can't force the people around my circle to see the vision and the goals that I have.
Absolutely.
And I was too much of a people pleasing, I'm just like, all right, there's all my peers and whatever they say, I believe, and I'm going to do this and that, and then at the same token, it seems like everything that I'm trying to progress is always an issue. Oh, you're doing this? Oh, that's too much money. Oh, how much you're going to sell that? What?
Yeah.
That I'm not gonna pay for that. You need to put it less price. Like, who's gonna pay for that?
Who's gonna pay for that?
And then you be like, but you see other people selling it, and it costs way more money than I'm paying, but you will pay for that. But for mine, just because you know me, it's like, oh, well, you should do it for $20. Then you trying to accommodate them. You be like, you know what? All right. Here it is. It's for $20. Will you pay for it? Oh, I don't have that money right now, but it was good for you to put it for $20. I'm like, but that's not supportive.
But you'll go spend $130 in Lululemon for the same thing that you're giving them for $20.
Correct. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, it took me. I started to have a mentor last year as well. So prior to that, I didn't really have no mentor. I didn't have no therapist and none of that because I was still busy thinking that,
Yeah.
I could do it. It's just like, I feel like if you're in my circle, if I make, you make.
You make.
So it's like, I'm not the stingy type. It's like, I'm always going to make sure that everybody's going to eat. But everybody doesn't think like that about me. So for them, what they do, if they make, they keep that for themselves. It's like they won't say nothing to you, but they will just do it on their own. But you, on the other hand, everything that you got going on, you calling them, hey man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. What do you think? Blah blah. And they're over here trying to give you like mini advices and stuff. Oh yeah, do this, and then they'll turn around and go to that next person. Oh well, you know what? I think you should go ahead and do this, this, and this. And then now you be like, I just gave you all my ideas, and then you don't give me no credit, but then you'll go elsewhere and go tell the next person all your ideas, but you'll give them credit because you feel like because they're up, they're
above.
Yeah, so you're just
which they really aren't.
Thank you.
Because we're all the same.
Correct. So that's why I just learned like, I am not doing that anymore. So what I have been doing, starting the end of last year, every movement that I want to do, I just keep my mouth shut. Once it's accomplished, then I bring it out there to the surface, because now it's too late. So whatever you want to think of, I don't care anymore. It's like my mindset is like, I'm not worrying about what you're thinking, what she's thinking, or what he's thinking. It's like, it's all about me, because if God placed this vision for me, he didn't place it on you. So he just gave me the vision. My goal is to accomplish it. If I have to go here to go find something, God will present someone else to come into my life, and he'll be like, you know what, blah, 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 blah. You're like, well, darn, I wasn't about to pay this person this amount of money, and this guy just came out of nowhere, and I just got free service for nothing.
Amen.
So that's why like right now, I kind of have my time to sit down and give myself to God and understand what he has for me. Because before, I never really pay attention. I'm always like a busybody. I'm just like running all over the place. But now by me sitting silent, and it's just me and these four walls, it's amazing to hear what God presents and shows you. It's like, oh my gosh, I kind of miss out a lot of things.
Yeah.
And when I heard that you almost died, well, you did die for a couple of minutes, I was in that same predicament. I mean, I think I died like 3 times. And because I died when I was young. And I was surprised. I came back. Then I almost lost myself because I was in a car accident with me and my sister, but I lost my daughter.
Wow.
I had to learn from that as well. And there was another episode. I think it was like before or after COVID or whatever. A lot of people thought I was gonna die because they did some blood tests, and then they kept me in the room for God know what, and then they realized what it was. And everybody was nervous because no one didn't know.
Nobody knew.
It's like, because, my blood count, the white cell was so low. So they was nervous. I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, what's going on with this chick? And I'm sitting here like, what the crap? I'm trying to figure out a lot of things.
I'm trying to do everything right, and you're trying to take me out.
You get what I'm saying? So I was like, oh my gosh, let me just trying to bring myself.
That was my battle.
And there was another incident, because my mom passed away. And
sorry to hear that.
And, I was trying to, I think because I know she was like my rock, and everything that I want to do, she was like my supportive, and she always like, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. But then at the same token, I'm too busy worrying about other people. And then I'm not focusing on her. So now when she is like gone, so now it's like, oh shoot, now I actually do need her support. I don't get that same support that I'm looking for. Right. So it's just like to the point that I feel like everything was just like crumbling down on me. It's like when you too much people pleasing everyone, it feels like there was a wall. Yeah. It's like when you're trying to speak, it sounds like no one doesn't hear you. It feels like you're like, like you're in the ocean. I'll be like, why no one is not hearing me? It was to the point that I wanted to commit suicide. Right. And I was just like, maybe I just need to end my life. I was just done. Like that last episode when I wanted to commit, I was like over it. I had to call my sister because it was like, she was the number that I could call. Yeah. And she was trying her best to make me understand, you gotta, because I feel like I'm not being heard. It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, but nobody can make you do anything unless you do it for yourself.
Correct. And she was just trying to make me feel like, you got kids, don't do this. And, but it was just kind of hard. So I kind of focused, and I'd be like, you know what? It's my life. You're right. And it took time. But by me going to a therapist, and then by me having my mentor, I thank my therapist for this, because there was a lot of things that I have been learning. And I am so grateful with that. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to move forward. And now I'm not worrying about what anybody else is thinking. I'm thanking God for everything that He brings to me full force.
Yep.
And by me having you on my platform.
Oh, I'm honored to be here.
So I am so blessed. And one more question I want to ask you before we close this.
Wait, before you go there, you know, there's a trigger in your mind, right? Mm-hmm. When you speak into existence and tell somebody else that you're going to do something, you don't do it. And the reason why you don't do it is because your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. So your brain tells you already done it. So you don't have the same energy or the same drive to accomplish it, because in your mind, you already accomplished it by telling it, by speaking about what you want to do. So that's why it's very important to what you want to do, you keep to yourself and you just do it.
Damn. So one more question and then we're going to wrap it up. If your life had a theme song, what would it be and why? I know you don't like music, but hey, I know you got
love
one.
music. I love music. I listen to everything. Ooh, that's a hard one too.
I know when you be in that car, you like.
I'm a big Tupac guy.
Oh, that's me. I love Tupac.
So I'm stuck between Picture Me Rolling and
That's so crazy. Oh my God.
that's one of my big songs, and I can't say the other song. I could tell you the beginning of the song is called Ambitious, but Ambitious Rider or something I think is called.
I have to listen.
But they portray a lot to things in my life. A lot of people said I couldn't do what I've accomplished, and it starts all the way from peers, from teachers and everything. So that Picture Me Rolling, that's what it stands for. It's not really because I want to be driving the 500 SL or anything like that. It'd be nice, but no, that's not the reason. The song really, for me, it sends a message like, you guys thought I couldn't do this. You guys put all these obstacles in my way, and look at me, I'm still doing it. Picture me. Take a picture, you know,
like
and
that.
That's what I like about it.
And guess what? Now we're here on this podcast, and we're going to take all the pictures that we can get. So, Mr. Ricky
Amen.
G, I just want to say thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
And guys, thank you for watching Love Yourself Loudly. I'll see you on my next episode.
Make
Bye.
sure you get that gear.
Well,
Love
where do you
yourself
want
loudly.
them? Hold on, but where do you want them to see you at? Like, where can they find you?
Oh, Instagram. Richard Peace, aka Ricky G.
You hear that, guys? All right. So holla. Bye.